The Qataris are incredibly upset after this extraordinary attack by Israel today. Israel launched what appears to be an airstrike that targeted this Hamas compound that is in Doha. Hamas has been here for years, and that's in part because the United States and others had asked Qatar to be a mediator with Hamas when dealing with the Israelis in the past. And what we saw today was sort of the extension of growing anger in sort of hardline right circles in Israel over Qatar. They had pointed to the fact that Qatar had helped get cash payments into Gaza before the war that helped fund civil employees in Gaza. Now, after the war, Qatar has been incredibly important, along with Egypt, in mediating, trying to find a ceasefire for the war. It appears that this ceasefire negotiations are basically stalled. They've been stalled for a couple of weeks now, but now the Qataris are signaling that they're upset, but maybe that they'll go back to it. But as of right now, it doesn't look like they want to. We heard tonight from one of the top officials in Qatar, their prime minister. Let's hear what he had to say.
The Israeli attack that took place is simply a clear message to the region as a whole, and this message says that there's a rogue player in this region and ongoing political recklessness that has encroached upon the sovereignty of states. Netanyahu himself has declared that he would reshape the Middle East. Does this message mean that he intends to reshape the Gulf as well?
And that anger that you're hearing from the Gulf countries, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, others have lined up alongside Qatar. The Israelis had been trying to reach out to Gulf Arab states for a while now, trying to get them to have diplomatic recognition deals. But, after today, where we've seen at least 5 Hamas members as well as 1 member of Qatar's internal security force be killed in this airstrike, it looks like that effort to reach out is over at this point, and the ceasefire negotiations are really in question.
And John, is there something of a longer-term fallout from this attack? Because Qatar is a close ally of the United States, and I'm looking at the relationship between the United States and Qatar. I mean, it's just not an ally, it's defined as a major non-NATO ally of the United States. Are there going to be questions of trust right now?
That's a really interesting question, and I think that's one the Qataris are really looking at. We've heard from the White House tonight. They've come out and said that they did give the Qataris a warning ahead of time. There's some question, though, about what time frame that was, because the Qataris came back and said that they only got a warning when they were hearing the explosions sound off in Doha behind me. So there's a lot of anger there. But you have to keep in mind as well that, El Udeid Air Base, which is a couple dozen kilometers away from me here in downtown Doha, that is a major U.S. military installation. It's the forward headquarters for U.S. Military Central Command. And the Qataris, this is the second time in the Mideast wars that were launched over the Israel-Hamas war that we've seen Qatar struck. Back in June, you might remember that the Iranians launched ballistic missiles and drones at the El Udeid Air Base over the fact the Americans had attacked Iranian nuclear sites during the Israeli war there. So, I mean, all of this together just shows how complicated and how dangerous the situation has been in the Middle East. And as time goes on, the Israelis are showing more and more willingness to strike at targets that they otherwise hadn't in previous years. And that's really drawing more questions about what happens next with these tensions.